All right, here we are. This is episode 1, season 3 of the DSC Podcast. Hard to believe it's been 3 years, but here we are into our 3rd season. So we're a little behind the game when it comes to our start. Normally we start in the preseason. This year we kind of let it run a little bit to see how things would go, and it's not going overly well for the Leafs. We're heavy into the Leafs fandom here at DSC, but we cover a lot of other things around the league, hot topic issues in and around hockey. Again, follow us, give us a like, all that good stuff. But you'll catch us on Twitter at SillyDeke, www.dekesnipesily.ca, on Facebook /DekesNipeSilly. And of course, if you're a listener, you'll get our audio podcast on anywhere you listen to your podcast, really. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all of the above. You can listen to DSC Nipesilly on your drive to work. So again, guys, welcome back, my co-hosts, Carly, Chad, and Patty. We've got a new sponsor on board for this season. It's DHP, the Delaney Hockey Program. A lot more on those soon, but you'll catch their logo right now in the intro. So without further ado, titter tatter, let's get at her. All right, guys, so here we are, season 3. I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, season 3, like that's actually, now we're not like rookies anymore. Well, Patty was a rookie last year, but now he's into his sophomore season. Hopefully no sophomore slump for Patty
anymore now.
No, we've got, you know what, we've got people like over the last few weeks asking me when it's all starting up again. So
nice. Well,
people know about us. Like they know about us.
Whoever you are, know about us. Thank you. No, that's good.
Yeah. They may be at the Wednesday night cornhole league, but they know about us.
Well, that's the main thing. As long as as word of mouth is doing its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Well, as mentioned in the intro, we do have a new sponsor on board this year. So I will, before we get started on that, throw out a big thank you, of course, to our sponsor from season 1 and season 2, PHG Sports out of Whitby, Ontario. Without the contribution from those guys, we wouldn't be in season 3. So again, huge shout out to those guys. That'll be the last time you hear from us on them, because we do have a new sponsor on board, DHP, the Delaney Hockey Program. It's a local hockey school here in Newfoundland. Oddly enough, the 4 of us all have ties to DHP. We'll talk about that some more at another date. But so pumped to have the Delaney's come on board, sponsor the podcast. They'll be on for a few words too, hopefully in a couple episodes time, and we'll talk some youth hockey with those guys. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight is season 3, episode 1 of the DSC Podcast with your host Kylie Murren, babyface Patty Phillips, and babyface Chad Newman.
Why didn't I get a baby face?
Because you got more facial hair than 2 of the boys, obviously. Right? It's possible, man. I was like thrown off when the cams came on. I was like, yeah, no, it's clearly November the 1st, because actually it looks like Chad might have pushed out part of a beard between like this morning and this evening.
5 o'clock shadow.
I think I'm gonna go with the Wendell Clark handlebar. I think.
Yeah.
Do that.
That's what we need. So, Patty, what do you say you're gonna roll out with and have a stash?
Either gonna be the handlebar, a la Wendell Clark, or it's gonna be the cartel look from Austin.
Oh, the pencil.
I don't know. Yeah, I will not be dyeing the mustache, but all to a great cause, of course.
All to a great cause. Chad, what about you?
Probably Ned Flanders.
I like it.
That's what I'm gonna go with. Like it.
Yeah.
I approve of that.
Super Troopers kind of deal. Yeah.
Got the upper lip port. Yeah.
I like it. Well, what we're going to do, guys, it's Movember. Movember is a great cause, of course, raising money, cancer causes. I'm all, but any charities that raise money for cancer. But we'll link both of the boys' Movembers. Are you setting up your proper Movember accounts? I'm assuming yes.
Done. Mine is done.
I've seen Patty.
Mine's not done yet, but I gotta get it on.
Yeah, get around to go. So. We'll link your accounts, and if anybody from our wide fan base right across the world wants to donate to a great cause, check out the boys' Movember, and you'll get your updates here anyway. You'll see them hopefully each week, and we'll give you updates on the growth. Hopefully not in Kylie's case. No. So Yeah. So how's the summer treating you guys? We haven't really our last podcast. I went back and looked. Our last podcast was before the Leafs started the playoffs. We had superfan Curtis on from Alberta. That was our last podcast.
We have to get him back.
Oh,
I never got to see him.
No, I don't imagine that'll be a problem at all. I've talked to him a few times since. He's deadly. He's a great dude. What you see is what you get.
Awesome.
Hope he don't lose his job because I just saw him pick up like 5 game used jerseys from last year.
Oh yeah. He got skates, he got gloves, he got a couple new mannequins. Oh yeah.
Well, he's starting to give it away now too. I see he gave away a set of Nylander gloves the other day on a like a luggage shirt kind of thing. Yeah.
Where's this giveaway happening?
It's over now, but
no.
You got to be on Twitter.
You got to be tweeting it up like Carly.
I'm Twitter lazy. Maybe Elon will get me using it.
So what about
you,
Carly?
$8 a month, you could be verified. $8 a month, you could be verified.
I thought it was 20.
No, it was $8 today.
$8 or something.
Oh, okay.
It's coming down.
Cheaper than Netflix, and it's just as entertaining.
I'm not there yet.
Fair enough. So, Carly, how was your summer?
Same old. Work.
Work.
We had a beautiful summer, though. I mean,
it was crazy.
It was really good watching baseball because, I mean, it's not hockey, but it's just as fun. Like a lot of people, I have a friend at work who always gives me shit for, baseball's not a real sport. It's like, no, watch it. Like, it's entertaining. It might not be the full 9 innings, but then I got to see my first Blue Jays game. That was fun. So
yeah,
that was really summer. But
you made a little trip down to see the Leafs as well. There you go.
Yeah,
they played their preseason while we were there. But.
Run into anybody interesting while you were at the stadium?
Not at all. No, I'm just kidding. Of course. That was so amazing for him to do. Every time I see my dad, he still talks about it. And did not expect that at all. Like, just pretty much wanted to meet Joe in person and say hello, get a picture, introduce my parents. And he just took us and was like, come on. And he showed us everything. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if we ever send you guys all the videos, but like we were in the room that day, Dubas and all of those guys would have just been in like literally 30 seconds before that. And got to see like the video replay and like how they do everything. And I was like playing with all the stuff. They're like, oh, do whatever you want. It was awesome.
So for anybody who doesn't know, she's referring to longtime legend, Hockey Hall of Fame inductee Joe Bowen, the voice of Toronto Maple Leafs. Friend of the show, too.
Friend of the show,
Friend of the show.
We don't have a lot of those.
That's the accolade that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Patty? What was your summer shaped up like?
Lots of camping, coaching Norris baseball, trying to stay away from thoughts of the Leafs and all that good stuff. And just back from 2 weeks down Myrtle Beach on vacation. So actually, you know what? I think it was the last game or the game in was it the game in LA or Vegas or one? I think it was the Vegas one. It's the first one, actually. First game I saw full game. Couldn't really get it down in the States anywhere. Wasn't streaming too well from any site. But yeah, no, the summer was fantastic. Fortunately, we caught the first Jays playoff game and had an opportunity to meet Elliot Friedman. So Colley's not the only one meeting some celebs.
And you met Jordan Romano last time you were up there.
I met Jordan Romano. I can't remember much about that one. I was 3 sheets on that one.
Oh, I could tell. I could tell.
Yeah, he was pretty good. But I asked Elliot, I said, what's your thoughts on the Leafs season? He said, I think they're going to be great. So that's what I'm going with.
Come through, Elliot. Come through.
Yeah.
Chad, what celebrities do you rub shoulders with this summer?
Jeez. Let me think.
Where do I start?
I don't know. I might have seen Terry Ryan at the supermarket. That's about as close as I got to anybody, I think. But yeah, the weather was amazing. Like Collie said, we got to watch a nice young Toronto team with all kinds of upside and swag with an early exit. That was nice. In the off season to watch some baseball. Instead of hockey for change. That was good. I'm not so sour about that. I mean, who's going to compete with the Yankees and Astros this year anyway?
Just sad the way it happened.
Yeah, of course. It always is. I mean, a little meltdown at the end and whatever's.
Yeah.
But other than that, just didn't do a whole lot. Did a week out around vacationing and lots of kids' activities and baseball and swimming. We just about swam, I think, 5 days a week. So That's what we were doing, keeping cool. How about you?
If I list off all the things I got into the summer, we'd be here for a while.
Yeah.
I had a real busy summer. Like I said, we the same old same for me. I was coaching kids softball and basketball this year. We started an outdoor basketball league for children out here. So that was something new, and it was a hit. It was a really, really great things. The weather, again, like you said, for anybody who's watching their very first podcast, we live in Newfoundland, up in Canada, and our summers are not traditionally, they're not bad, but not like we had this summer. This summer was very little rain at all. The entire 2-3 months of summer that we get, temperatures were high every day. It was
And the
I've never seen a
humidity.
summer like it. Yeah.
And
And
it
the
wasn't even
humidity.
windy.
No.
It's usually windy, even if it's sunny here in summer times and nice. It's usually
Yeah.
windy.
Yeah.
It wasn't even windy.
Pristine summer. Like
That was
you know what?
nice.
If we get crapped on over the winter,
I'll
fine,
take it.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah. I love the
Fuck.
winter anyway. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Bring on the snow
Well,
days.
other than that, over the winter or over the summer, I took on another position with another recreation type outfit over in my hometown of Winterton, where there were.
Buddy, you
guy-
don't stop.
I know a guy had purchased a church over there from Hollywood, and like he's
Yeah.
coming in to record music and stuff, and I got on board with that project, so that's been real exciting, and let me tell you, all kinds of interesting. Like
Yeah.
I'll chat
Do
with you
you
guys some more
sleep?
about that. That's not what this podcast is about. I could make another podcast based on that alone. It's ridiculously interesting stuff. But yeah, my summer was jam packed, and of course, my kids come first and foremost. We did a little bit of camping, a little bit of this and that. And it was come home year, of course, so a lot of events around that. But that was a great summer, guys. I'm glad you guys are back, and we're back at it at DSC. So I think without further ado, we dive into where we sit currently. Where are we at for the Leafs season? Because we're all Leafs fans. Let's just dive into it. What are we, 10 games in? 9 games in? I don't even know.
10.
10.
10.
So we're 10 games into an 82 game season. The sky is falling clearly among the media and the fan base. Warranted or not, Patty?
Oh, definitely. You know what? There's so many holes right now. I don't know. I can't even comment on what's going good. Like Willie's been no doubt the best player. You know what? Everybody talked about the goaltending in the offseason, how that's going to be our doom and gloom. It's probably like I'm totally fine with Samsonov. I know Murray's hurt. Not too comfortable with Shalgren in there, although he did play well the other night, kept us in it.
Wasn't
I
his
just
fault.
think, yeah, like you know what? I just don't know what to see positive about it thus far. Yes, I think everything goes by Matthews and Marner. Once they start going, maybe everything else goes. I really don't know what else Dubas can do. We'll talk about that a little bit later,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I just do not know what else he can do.
So while Patty was down south getting his tan on, he missed a few games, which is uncharacteristic Patty.
Yes.
But that's it. You're in Florida, you're doing your thing, you're drinking all the booze, getting all the rays. Chad got to watch all the games. So from game 1 to game 10, have you in your estimation, Chad, do you think it's gotten better or worse?
I don't know. It's pretty flatline to me because I mean JT's rolling. God love him. You know, JT's showing up and he's here to play. But Nylander are getting moved off his line, and Marner are getting the bench kind of thing and getting sour and taking off and coming back. And all this talk about Keefe, it's just it's a pretty dark shadow so far this year. And October usually sucks anyway, so I'm just prepared. It's November 1st. I'm happy about that. Let's just see where it goes from here. Maybe they turn a page, or maybe a big change is coming, and Justin Hall's got to be better. I don't know. Like there's a lot of gaps that need to be filled, like Liljegren being hurt and Muzzin being hurt. I mean, there's a big challenges to begin the year, and it's people are going to demand answers early. So,
Well,
You know what?
talking about a
it's
big
November
change.
1st. I'm good.
Speaking of the big change, that's where I want to lend it to Kylie and see what she got to say, because of the four of us, there's nobody who reads more, who's more in touch with what's going on social media wise. She's our Twitter expert. She does all that good stuff. Kylie, do you expect big change remotely soon, or do you think that
No.
Dubas going to ride it out?
I think he's going to ride it out, maybe till at least 20 games in. At least, I think. Right now, you can't solely blame it on Keefe because the players just are not performing. You can say they quit on Keefe, but yet today in the media availability, they're all like, no, he's a great coach. We love Kiefer, all the praise. I don't think, if anything is going to happen, in my opinion, it'll be a trade before any kind of firings.
I'm the opposite. I think if they lose tomorrow night in Philly, and I forget who they have after that, I think it's game by game right now. I don't think they give him another 10 games.
I won't be
that's-
shocked if something do happen, but that's just a consensus around. on the media today and on
Like
Twitter and whatnot.
a 20 game evaluation after first round exits. Like
I agree.
his evaluation is not 10 games. His evaluation goes back. I'm not saying to fire Keefe. I think it's the most likely move because I don't think, as we said earlier, I don't think there's one move the Leafs can make to make that team better because there's so many underperforming players on that team that if they were going, it would be a different story. So like trading one of your top core, like it's not like who are you going to trade and make a difference other than you trade the Niemela's or Matthew Nice is not going nowhere. Maybe Robertson goes somewhere and you bring someone back in your top 4 on defense. But that's realistically the only move we can expect.
Well, true. But the way I look at it is this is pretty well the same team that we've had for years. You know, there's a couple, we'll say key pieces if you want to, you know, Hyman, even Mikheyev, Campbell, even though he's not doing so great. But the thing is, I remember reading or hearing or whatever earlier this year how the Leafs completely almost changed their systems. Not making excuses for them by any means. But to me right now, it's like they're just overthinking every step. Instead of just playing hockey and going with what they do best, it's like they're trying to rewire their brains to go against their intuition, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just kind of how I interpret it.
It's becoming an effort thing as well. Like,
100%.
Like I never doubted your efforts before. I know a lot of folks did, but I'm starting to doubt some of your efforts right now. And God, there was a play last week. I think who's that against Dallas or whatever? Massey's come back in the zone. Everybody's blaming Hall on this play.
No,
it was Matthews
100%.
too.
Yeah, and Massey's just lets him blow by him like
that was Logan Couture. Yeah,
Logan Couture, San Jose game. Yeah, so it's like those things can't happen. I know it's one-offs, but
On the coach side of things, though, in regards to that comment and firing Sheldon, we're still paying Babcock. So, and then we still have Sheldon under contract for this season and next season. So that's 2 coaches that you're going to be paying right now, and a third. Now, I mean, that's nothing on MLSE. We found out today, obviously, they're worth billions of dollars. But I just feel like they're not going to, because at this point, we know that core and we know that team can do what they do best. Just right now, there's something missing.
I have a theory on the firings, by the way.
What's that?
I have a theory that it starts at the top and not at the coach's level. I think that it's only going to be so long that ownership is going to look at this before, because again, we're owned by what? We're owned by television companies, right?
That's another thing too, though. It's like they were talking about this on Leafs Lunch the other day. It's like, let's say the Ottawa Senators was owned by, oh my God, what's his name again?
Melnick,
Eugene Melnick. So he was, sole responsible for that team, and he was the one who could make decisions and, put the axe down when it was needed. The Leafs don't have that. They literally have a board of directors. They all have to vote on things. This stuff don't just happen like that. So unless this is something leading up to, they got a worst case scenario situation ready to go, and then we have Trotz coming on in. I don't know. It was on Twitter today that he bought a property apparently in Toronto. I haven't fact checked that. Obviously, it could be a complete troll job, but I mean, they either quit on Keefe or they really do like Keefe and they're just
terrible,
messed up with their systems right now. Because we did see a glimpse of hope the other night. I will say that until complete third period meltdown, whatever happened. But I don't know. I don't think they've quit on Keefe too much. Not yet. I don't believe it.
I need the Wayne train to come into practice and give someone the Bortuzzo treatment and kickstart the team there. Give it a good kick in the ass like St. Louis got that time. They melted down, and next thing they know, the big fight in practice, and they turn around and win the cup.
Right?
I don't always buy this whole thing quitting on the coach anyways.
No.
Like how does a team of 20 plus players, every one of them quitting on the team? Like maybe it's a trickle effect that if a Matthews gave up on Keefe,
it's not
stop listening.
One bad apple.
It's not a quitting issue. It's not a quitting issue. I really believe it's a failure of the coach to properly prepare the team to play.
Yeah.
Because there's no debating the skill set in our top 6.
What was the excuse last year then? He led our team to a franchise record. He came in underneath Babcock's wing and had a great record too. He's no doubt a winning coach. So what's the excuse?
Well, this is my big hang up
Right?
because like
It's
Patty
crazy.
mentioned a minute ago, going back and looking at history and talking about first round exits under Keefe. I'm like, yeah, but you better be careful how far back in the history of Keefe you go, 'cause you'll soon discover he's the winningest coach in the history of the franchise.
Exactly.
Right? So like, you're gonna fire that guy and then hope that somebody else comes in and just rights the ship. I don't know.
I don't think
Or
it
fire him at the
matters.
end of the season.
How many coaches do
Not
you
the
have to
beginning.
go through? How many coaches do you have to go through before you point the finger at the damn players?
Yeah. No.
Think
and
about
listen,
that.
The
there's
problem is
something-
though,
They're
pointing to,
professionals. They shouldn't need to be coached.
but pointing to
Just play hockey.
pointing at the players as a fault in a salary cap, and we all know all the
Oh, I
reasons.
know.
Like
That's
it's-
another side
nothing
of
will
it for
change.
sure.
The easiest change to make is a fired coach, because
Listen,
I don't think
it's a-
I still don't think there's one trade that you can make that improves this team.
the biggest
Well, I
change you need to
mean-
make there is a culture change.
Yes.
It's been there long before these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
A-
it
a
looms.
tweet-
That's the ghost in the friggin' dressing room. It's a culture thing.
They got to
the
stop
biggest
playing that
star
Gord Downey song. That's
Hey,
what got
watch
to
it.
happen.
Watch your mouth.
No, nothing against him.
How did this go
But
on, Gord
it's-
Downey?
No, but it's
woman.
literally about a curse and the Leafs not winning a cup till what's his name's body was found. Like,
Perelko. Oh, the 50 mission.
yes, Bill
curse.
Perelko. Like,
Okay.
so yeah, that's that.
Okay,
That's
let me,
all.
I just
Okay.
want to stop
I couldn't
right
think of
there.
the name
If
of the
Carly's
song.
going to blame the tragically hip for what's going on with the Leafs, it's over here. Like, you've been
I'm
voted
not,
off the island.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not them. I'm saying they
If
have to
anything
stop
ended, the
playing that
Gretzky
song.
trade ended. The Gretzky trade ended over the summer, did it not?
Mm.
And some
did.
people say that's the curse. The last piece of the Gretzky
And they also
trade
said
just
Zdeno Chara
retired.
was the curse. He just retired.
Yeah, so all signs
like-
are pointing
No curse.
somewhere, but I just
It's
think it's a
between your
culture
heads.
change. It's Toronto. It's
Your
the
ears.
center of the hockey universe. It's the
It's-
billion-dollar franchise.
The rink
With
is
nothing
built
to
on
show for
Indian
it.
burial grounds. or
That's what it's got to
something.
be
Yeah,
changed.
possible. A tweet that really got me a couple days ago was, I can't remember who it was, but they tweeted, you know what the Leafs could really use? Players like Nazem Kadri and Zach Hyman. And I was like, oh, you're so right. Because like,
I never want
I-
to hear he got
I-
traded because of suspensions again. He's a $4.5
I
million
don't
dollar
think-
player for a third line center. Give it up.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't the Nazem Kadri he is right now. So
Yes, he was.
same as Mason.
Just-
No, but same as Mason Marchment.
Oh, he
You
was a
can't-
third line center.
But you can, yeah, of course, which we need right now. But so was Kerfoot. So
I
No, I
don't
mean-
think that makes a difference. I really don't. It's easy to look back and see success other players are having, and they look they appear to have all the attributes of a team. We have parts of that right now, what they can bring.
but
he
do
was
we
the
have
impact
do we
player.
have players though? Do we have players that are going to drag other people into the fight? Do we have anybody like that?
You were before we jumped on here. We were just watching the Rangers and Philly. I think they're playing. And like just there, I don't know if you guys watched it, because just then at the end of the period was like this entire little scrum that went on for 5 minutes. All the players were into it, just face washing, just up in each other's face. Like you can tell that they were cursing at each other and getting right into it. And I couldn't wait to watch the next period. Just that. You don't have to fight. You
That's
don't have
what
to
I'm
beat the
saying.
shit out of somebody. Just something. Face wash them. Anything.
Yeah,
Just put your
compete.
arm around his shoulder. Just do something.
Mhm.
And then it gets the rest of the team ready to go. Like, of course, it gets me ready to go. I'm here like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
and I'm on my couch. So, I mean, it's just like science.
Well, I mean, do you remember Jason Spezza going out and taking
Yes.
a 4-game suspension?
Yeah.
You know, who in their right mind pegs Jason Spezza as the guy who's got to do that, other than Jason Spezza when he looks around and realizes nobody else is going to,
Exactly.
That man should be on our bench.
or behind it.
Well, both.
Mhm.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yep.
Like, yes.
Mhm.
That's what I said. If he's going to lose his job to anybody, it should be to Spezza. I know he's never coached before, but he got assistants. He got everybody.
Well,
there to
he's
help him.
earned it with the low salary every year and for the role he played
Right?
and the
Either
output that
that
he
or
got.
strap your skates back on, bruh, and get out nice.
No, that's also very true.
I'm not convinced on the whole toughness thing, the whole rubbing the face and all this stuff. I don't know. It's the easy thing to always pick on the Leafs, that they don't have the grit, the toughness, and those things. I don't know how that translates to success.
But I think it does though, Patty. Like I really truly believe that when there are players on your team who are exerting that kind of emotion, if they're not on the score sheet for points and they're doing that, it's got to get a fire going in your belly. If you're an Austin Matthews or a Mitch Marner, you're seeing your guys out there who are making no money compared to you, who are getting into the tough spaces, you know, picking up for teammates. I don't know if it don't pump you up for a game, then you shouldn't. I don't think you should have skates on. That's my theory behind the toughness. And I don't think doesn't make a huge
It's not
difference
toughness, it's
to the game.
impact. There's a
Well,
difference.
maybe.
Impact is different.
That's just my theory, and I mean, whatever. It's probably wrong because again, I'm in my basement. But I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here because, like I said, this is pretty dire. And I mean, I'm not usually the guy to jump on the bandwagon of holy cow, this is bad. But like, it's bad, right? I mean, last year we had a few excuses. We had Peter Mrazek as our goalie, who was never really very good, along with Jack Campbell, who had an okay start. Austin Matthews was injured last year. Right?
Yeah.
He had a bum wrist. So
I think it's a confidence play right now. As much as they say they haven't lost their confidence,
Yeah.
They get that offense going, to get their top line going. Everything floats from there. Like every line is shouldering a lot of responsibility now, and I don't know if they should be.
When your two-time Rocker Richard winning player is on your team and he's not producing and not into it, or it's not just him, I'm just saying as an example, that Mitch Marner's not into it, Bunting's not into it, the whole friggin' team's not into it. I don't
If
mean
your top two
into it.
players
I just
We
feel
usually
like
call
if
that a
Matthews was
slump,
rolling and
right?
and Marner was rolling, and he was out there doing his Marner dipsy doodles and all that fun stuff, it'd be fun again. And they're not having fun right now.
No. Slumping.
you know what?
So
The two mistakes that Marner made last game, 9 times out of 10, like that doesn't happen to Marner. It's in the spotlight right now. As I said earlier, like I'm all for, I think, benching him for that one shift. Like you had to set a precedent right there. Because if that had to happen to a fourth line player where they turn the puck over twice, they're going to be on the bench. So if you don't do it to Marner, then you've got to, like, I wonder who's calling the shots in the dressing room these days. Like multiple times, Keefe over the years has had to come out and apologize for comments that he's made in the media. Like,
I think that was some silly. So I don't even think what he said was that bad.
no, I know.
And then to have to backpedal on it, like I think he backpedaled on it because of the media.
Yeah.
I don't think it was because of anything to do with the players, but a lot of people do. So I mean, who am I to know?
And we don't know. This is the catch. All we know is it was a story. Yet another
think-
storyline.
Well, I think it might have been, let's say, Dubas or whoever saying, like, you got to shush this down now because it's creating a media storm now and everybody was going crazy over it. So I think he did it for the media, in my opinion. But then again, because the players said they didn't even know about it until Keefe brought it up to them.
Well, maybe, and maybe
They
not.
don't go home and watch the media availabilities. Marner said today, he said, I haven't had social media on my phone in months. He said, I don't watch TV because they were like, oh, you don't watch like hockey games or whatever. And he said, honestly, I watch Twitch and Netflix and I play video games. Like he said, I don't pay attention to any of that. He said, if I call he said, my dad might. And he said, I hang up on him if he starts to talk about things that like are being said. So like he wants no part of it. So they don't know what's going on. So
I mean,
that's
they
just
got
my
professional
opinion.
sports psychologists telling them, how to handle things as well.
Oh my
And
God,
you're
yes.
you're also playing in the Toronto market. How do you handle that? They have professionals to tell you how to handle that, and if that's what
And
they're
they
telling
need
him,
it.
No,
I tell ya.
you guys are onto something there for sure.
yeah,
You get Matthews and Marner going,
Watch out.
everything
This will be
changes.
forgot. Yeah, as usual, because we usually go through this during the year at some point anyway.
Because
Mhm.
I do not
Embarrassing
mind the
loss.
team that they have there. I thought they went out and filled some good holes. Yes, they can improve like no other like every other team could use better D, all those things. If
Always.
the two of the boys starts going offensively,
Mhm.
limit the mistakes, then just watch out.
Well, my issue with the current lineup is that there's a couple players there there's one player there who needs to go that I just don't see the usefulness of Justin Hall. The other players that I see on the lineup, there's 3 more players that really I don't particularly have any use for, and that's Pierre
Engvall.
Engvall. I mean, I was never a big fan. He finished strong last year, and I backpedaled. I said, yeah, no, give the guys due. I
Yeah.
still don't think he earned a raise, but anyway,
No.
whatever. He finished the season reasonably strong and had a decent showing.
And
a
he's
goal
good
this
on the
year.
penalty kill. He's good on the
Yeah,
penalty
he's
kill.
not,
Give him that.
but again,
He's not
he
Mikheyev.
he
But
doesn't really show me enough. Obey Kubel, I don't really get it. You brought him in from a winning team, but it's not like he wasn't like an impactful player on that team. Other than
No.
Denton the Cup, nobody would have knew who he was, I don't think. You know what I mean?
I like the Aston Reese pickup. And
I do
Yarncroft has
too.
been meh.
Yeah, you're in Cork. I would have thought for somebody who you're investing in for 4 years, he would have he's our longest standing Leafs contract right now, right?
Yeah,
I-
So
I don't
hopefully
wanna-
that
10 games
continues.
in though. They
I
got a
don't
full
want to
season,
knock
though. Let's
them
give
yet,
them
though.
a good chance.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, brand new team,
they're all
all of
slumping
them.
except for JT.
Right? Exactly. Like we can't. I don't know.
Mm.
We're blaming a lot of shit on Matthews and Marner, but it's also them too. They'll get going.
But the other guy,
Yeah.
and this is the one that everyone's always got a contentious on, is Alex Kerfoot, right? To
I
me,
love Kerfoot.
listen, I do too. If he had a spot on the team,
Well,
right?
that's true.
Like,
Yeah, you
like
can't knock his effort.
what's Kerfoot's job? Like, someone please tell me what his job is. Yeah, I understand he
Zach
can play
Hyman.
anywhere in the lineup. I get it, but like, what's his gig? What is it? What are we paying him $3.5 million for?
He's a
That's
Zach
standby.
Hyman who can play center. He might not be as skilled. Like I don't know
Yeah,
how he
no.
actually is, but he
They
just does
want him to
stupid
be.
things. He
the
does
fact that
stupid
he can
things.
skate with the voice is the reason why he can go up and down the line. His speed is his
our-
biggest attribute.
Our Swiss Army
But
knife.
that's where it ends. Like he
He's just
doesn't
stopgap.
hit, he doesn't score. I don't know what I said this earlier last year, and then he went on a bit of a run.
He gets
like,
hot
if
and
you-
cold. Hey,
If you're not scoring, you better be out there hitting and
Doing
defending
something.
really, really well, doing something. Engvall, same boat. Like, if you're not
Yeah.
scoring, you better be out there doing something else.
since
Instead
I'm
of
into
just
like
taking up minutes.
fantasy, I know Chad, you play. I don't know if the guys do, but you know the stat lines are there. If they are all zeros, there's something wrong. There should be something, whether it's a shot or a block. You want a couple of those filled in. I don't care if they're all ones. Something.
I really think that they're undervaluing Wayne Simmons too. I understand he's not Wayne Simmons from the
He
Flyers
can't play
days,
every game, but you could definitely get him in every second game.
but I mean, at least he brings some fire with him, right? And again, they set up a decent goal there the other day. Him and Clifford,
That was
the
few.
Fort line generated something. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like. At least there's somebody on the bench. See, he's only going to play 4 or 5 minutes a game anyway. At least there's
I'm a
somebody
fan
there
of Clifford too.
who win this team. Oh, me too. I'd play both of them on Fort line. Wouldn't have an issue with it. But
Right?
when you see that flat line that Chad was talking about, when the coach looks and says, "Man, this team needs a spark," you tap Simmons on the shoulder and you say, "Go out and take a penalty. Go and run somebody right through the glass, right? Go out
Yeah.
and start a fight.
Simple.
Something. Wake these boys up because that's what they need. Sometimes they just need a wake up, and I think guys like Clifford and Simmons can provide that. And yeah, the Fort line could possibly potentially produce more goals if you put Obey Kubel and Zach Aston Reese on it because they're in better shape or what. But the odds of the Fort line scoring is next to none normally. So why not put players out there who can impact the game in a different way?
If
We-
Zach
Well, this
Aston
is a-
Reese is hitting people, I enjoy that.
Yeah,
He's
I do
always
too.
out there.
I do
he's
too.
always out there hitting people.
I got
so,
no
mean,
issue with him as a player, but like I said, I really, really, really would like to see somebody on that lineup who could wake the team up, throw that big hit. That when I mean big hit, I mean like the one that everybody goes ooh,
And like 5 or 6 people go running for that guy with gloves off.
Yeah,
Like, it
and
needs
he's
to
ready
make an
for it.
impact.
Well, we
Impact
haven't
is
had
everything.
that
Like,
yet.
that's my whole thing for this episode is impact.
All right. So I was gonna say, speaking of big hits, did you guys see the big hit Lilligren had in the Marlies game?
I did
No.
not.
If
Oh.
not, go check Twitter because it's on there. And yeah, it was sick. Like he stood a guy up like center ice. It was awesome. Well, more by the blue line, but middle of the ice.
When was
And,
that?
that was the first game he played in with the Marlies.
Okay.
So go check that out. I'll find it when we get off this, and I'll send you guys the link.
Yes, please.
But
do.
do.
yeah, it was. And if anybody listening haven't seen it, go have a look. There's a guy who tweets like all clips of Marley's games, and I'm pretty sure I can find his name really quick if it's the guy I'm thinking it is. Nick Barden, his name is. So he's
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah,
at
I've seen it.
Nick Barden, Barden. He has all kinds of good Marlies updates and growlers. He stays on board with like all kinds of prospects and stuff, so he keeps you updated there. But anyway, yeah, go have a look. It was awesome, and he is, I think, eligible to come back with the Leafs on Saturday's game. Has to be 10 games and 24 days, which would bring us. We already played 10 games, but he has to do the 24 days, which would bring us to Thursday, I think.
I will say that I don't know what the solution here is. I will tell you that Timothy Liljegren is not it. However,
No,
he's not
but
going to
he
make
will
this team.
help.
He's not going to make them any worse.
No.
Because like Patty has pointed out many a times, is that Justin Hall is not a terrible defenseman. He's just not playing in the right place. So if we can shuffle
So I
down
said
the
he should be
lineup-
in Newfoundland.
but maybe Liljegren slots in and takes less of the pressure off of Mr. Hall. But
Well,
anyway,
we have
in
two
any
righties,
case-
and that's the two of them. So
that's true. In any case, like I said, there are no answers. There are no right answers at this point anyway. No one knows, and that's why we're all in limbo. That's why we talked about this for creeping up on an hour. Let's finish off with predictions then. So we got the Flyers up next. What are you guys thinking, Kylie? What are you feeling? Win or lose?
Gotta be a win. It gotta be. How many losses can we have? It's November. It's a new month. Buds like to play good in November. We know that in previous years, not just last season, but if I want to say, well, I can't say the season before because that started in like January, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I'm gonna say a win. Let's say goal from Matthews is gonna get another one. He's starting his streak.
I'll never bet against Matthews. I will bet against the Leafs in this situation because it's by far the most uninspiring hockey that I've watched in. I don't know if I've ever watched any like that. California trip was brutal. That was
They're
absolutely
back
brutal.
home. They're, they've had a couple days to reset. They're back with their families. They're not on a stupid time
Listen,
difference.
I love your positivity. I do. I just think you're
And
wrong.
I'm usually the negative one.
And that's a fact. How about you, Patty?
So-
What are you feeling, man?
I'm saying 4-2 win. They're gonna get
4-2
Philly.
win.
They're
I
gonna
was
get
gonna say
Philly on a
5-3.
back-to-back. Hurt
Yep.
was in tonight, and that was a 1-0 Rangers win in OT. So I'm
Nice.
going with the 4-2 win.
I'm saying
Chad?
5-3.
I think
Okay.
if they lose, Keefe is done. That's my prediction.
Ooh.
Ooh, I say there's a trade.
Ultimatum.
Yeah.
I'll say there's a trade by this time next week, if this next 3 days, because we have a very tough schedule. We have Philly tomorrow night, then we have Boston Saturday night on a back-to-back. Then we have Carolina the next day in Carolina at 5 p.m. Eastern.
But
Not
we've
even a
been
full-
losing in fine fashion to terrible teams. Look at what's
Right?
coming
We
up.
play good against it. Like, look, Winnipeg was a good team. I know Vegas was kind of a write-off, but Winnipeg was a
Playing
good
down
team.
the levels real too.
Right? So they showed up against Winnipeg, which was nice. And then we know that they have like this thing going with Winnipeg, I guess, since the Canadian division. We're playing Boston, which we have a, thing against. Philly is the Broad Street Bullies, so that should be a good game. And I mean, we always have fun games against Carolina. There's no mistake in that between
Oh, it's going to be a
Zambonis
10-goal
and
game for sure.
crazy
Like,
goals and
go on your betting app
tipsies.
today and bet the over on goals because
that
it will
Carolina
hit.
game.
Yeah. Chad, what do you think? Philly?
I was
Leafs?
just going to say 4-2 Leafs. I'll say 5-2. And Robertson's going to have a 3-point night for my hockey pool and
He's
show
a
me why I picked them.
scratch. He's a scratch.
Oh, shite. Right. Never
I'm
mind.
sorry.
Anyway, 5-2 Philly.
5-2 Philly, and Robertson has a 3-point night with the Marlies. All right, I'm going to say loss, and I'm going to because I can feel it in my soul, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, guys. I hope you'll forgive me, but I think 7-2 for the Flyers, and I mean like soul crushing, like fully burning it down because I didn't think it could get to where we were. We lost to the Ducks.
Our group chat's gonna be lit
Oh,
tomorrow night
just
after all
record the
these
group chat.
predictions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be wild. It's going to be a good game to watch regardless. And I really always like Philadelphia games. I like gritty. I like it all. So anyway, without further ado, I think we knocked this one on the head. It's really great to see all you guys in one place again. We almost connected at a DHP camp over the summer.
Almost.
We'll
Yeah,
talk about that
almost.
some more at a later date. But again, a big thank you to the Delaney Hockey Program for coming on board, sponsoring this Mishmash's motley crew we got going on here. This year, we're going to hoping to talk a lot more. We're always going to talk a lot of Leafs hockey. You're always going to get a lot of that. We'll try to get the odd guest on again, like we always do, and maybe even talk a little bit more some local hockey and some Growlers hockey. So get some other takes here because we got a huge fan base from Newfoundland and a huge fan base from Southern Ontario. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Again, links to the boys' Movembers will be in the chat below. All right, I guess that's it. Peace out.
Cheers.